Hi, I'm Gil. This is Burkland Gardens. So fall is almost here. I'm into doing some repotting right now. A lot of things are fully rooted into their pots, so I'm shifting up from one size to another, from 1 gallon to 2 gallon, 2 gallon into either 3 or 5 gallon. This is my little setup I've got going now next to my bark pile that I've got here. This is a nice aged bark. I'm putting perlite into most of it as an added bonus, but the straight bark does work for me. But I like to have some perlite in the mix as well. So we're going to go through what things that I'm shifting up, and I'll talk about the different conifers that I've got. These are all conifers. So let's get going. So I've got my pruners in hand, and I've got a 5 gallon size nursery bucket here. They come in different sizes. You'll see them in different sizes that are a little taller, a little wider. We call the wider ones squat. These are kind of in between. So this is one I'm going to be using today, and it's not a whole lot bigger than this, but it gives it about an inch all the way around and a couple inches in the bottom to grow in, and so they'll grow in fairly quickly. So I'm going to grab a little bit of my mulch mix and get a couple inches, probably about 3 inches of my potting mix in the bottom of the pot right there. And I went and grabbed my pruners because I have a couple of roots here. One that's going to grow around and in. It doesn't hurt anything to cut that off like that. This part you can just get rid of because it's been cut off. Also, you can use, if your pruners are in hand, you can use a tip of that to break up the roots as well. So not going to do a lot of pruning here. It's just mainly breaking up the roots. So we'll see how this comes in on the pot. That's about where I want it, just below. Little root coming up there. And then I'm going to grab a couple of buckets of my potting mix. I've got this one that's partially full. Dump that in there. I'm going to grab a couple more. Not the most efficient way to do it, but for me, just working alone when I putter around, it works quite well for me. But if it was a regular nursery doing a lot of potting, they would set up a station and be much more efficient. So one thing I do is kind of work that bark down in there. This is a spike that I'm using today, and poke it a little bit and get some of the air, and then use my hands to pack it down in there. You want the mulch to be in contact, and it's eventually going to settle in. You don't want air pockets in there in your mulch. So work that around. Finish off a little bit more of this. This is pretty much done. I'm going to top that off a little bit. I'm going to set it over on the cart over here. So these are some trees that I just received from another wholesaler, and these were grown by Isley Nursery down in Oregon. This is a Blue Shag Eastern White Pine. You see the nice blue color on it. Makes a nice low-growing globose shrub-like plant that's a conifer in your garden. Got a golden yew here, the golden spreader, Nordmann Fir. Let's see, let's look at a couple other things that I've got on the cart ready to go. Another yew that's an upright one, dwarf bright gold, it's called. We have a Japanese white pine, a parviflora called Fukuzumi. Has a nice blue curling needle. It shows that white underneath part of the needle. So that has some, actually, it's got a really nice graft. These white pines will swell quite a bit at the bottom. They're fine for the garden. The bonsai people Um, it's not something that's too acceptable for them. But anyway, we've got a couple other trees. We've got a eastern hemlock called Gench White, and it can handle the shade. It can be in some sun as well, with that white color, so it doesn't burn, I believe. So um, I would check on that. And then I've got a low-growing Scots pine, Pinus sylvestris, and this one's hillside creeper. So one that'll spread out and make a nice ground cover. It has a nice little bit of a contorted. You can create some pads. So that's what I have on this cart. And then we're gonna move over and show you what I've got on the truck, because I just picked up a few more conifers as well. We got a truckload of conifers here. These were all grafted by Dave Helms. You've seen him in a couple of videos doing some grafting, and Dave is going to be grafting this year, but mostly all Japanese black pines, the cork bark varieties and different ones, and you'll hear about more of that as we get into the fall and winter, as we prepare to do that, and he gets ready to do some grafting on these different types of Japanese black pines. But he also has quite a few young conifers he grafted over the last 2 years, and they'll be coming up here to this nursery, and we'll be dealing with those as far as selling them or moving them along. But this is a group that could be. I'm just going to pull a few things off here, and so we've got a group of Douglas firs. Douglas firs don't do well everywhere. If you wanted to grow them, I'm in Pacific Northwest, Oregon. There's a Rocky Mountain type, so mostly in the colder climates. The ones that more temperate up north in the northern part of the United States would do well. So we've got some of these aren't official names. They've been put on, and some of these are actually ones that Dave Helms has discovered. Also Sam Pratt down in Oregon, he's discovered quite a few. He's runs the Conifer Kingdom down there, and quite a large nursery. So he has a number of plant discoveries in the Douglas fir part too. So this one is called Blue Broom. Really nice little conifer. We're going to put them on the cart and just kind of pull a few things off. What's called Blue Planet. Like I said, these aren't official names yet, so they're just ones that, so they might even, some of them might even be the same. Another one, Blue Broom. So those are probably all the same. I know two of them for sure. Another one. These are all in 2-gallon size, so these are about 6-7 years old. This is a plant that Sam Pratt has found and has propagated, called Kaya Diana. It's really nice, short needles, has nice form, really a nice little Douglas fir. So one of my collector friends, Jeff, back in Illinois, he's been collecting for over 40 years. He's interested in getting more Douglas firs into his collection. So hard to find. So I don't know how much shipping I really want to do with these, but they will be available. Got some that are grafted. This is a double graft. So Dave kind of plays around with this one. It has a name, Les Baris. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, and I don't even know if it's an official name, but it's got two different grafts here on a little bit higher up on the stem. Almost we call that a standard. So just to move a few of these. That one has a nice gold tone to it. I don't know if it's gold or just a little bit chlorotic, but kind of cool. Might be the same. So we're just going to dig in here and see what we discover. Got a whole cart full of Douglas firs. Discovering, I've got a Kinsey Rose, which is I think that's a flexless or a sembra, I can't remember. Let's see what we have here. Mountain Angel Blue. I don't know how many of those. That might be the only one. There might be a couple of them. Mountain Angel, a town in Oregon, down in the Willamette Valley over towards Silverton. Golden Glow, Mugo Pine. Got it. I'm gonna just walk around here because I know I've got a couple of nice Mugo Pines in here. These are Little Delight, which is one of the smallest Mugo Pines out there. Again, probably a 4-year-old plant that's rooted into a 1-gallon size. I'm going to be shifting these up, but very nice, slow growing Mugo Pines. And another one that I have quite a few of is this Japanese black pine. It's a grafted one. So it is called Comet. I think Comet with a K. Upright growth. So it's going to be very columnar and something that I believe it's an Isley introduction. So I've got this size in a 1 gallon. They're both 1 gallons, but these are a little bit older. And then I've got these here that are a little bit younger. So set those right here. Another Mugo pine that's really unusual. It's like green penguin and a couple other of the pines. It's might be a hybrid type pine, but it's going to be growing globose, so around it, so shrub-like and slow growing, and it has the 2 different sets of needles, the longer ones that come in first, and then the shorter ones, again with the contrasting color, so little different shades of green. So that's a very, very nice plant. I like that one. I always mention green penguin, which is one of my favorite plants. So it's very much like green penguin, but growing in a rounded fashion. So there's a few other things. I have some incense cedars, some golden ones, some more columnar ones that are over at the end of the bed over there, and just a little bit of a mix of things in the truck here. So but anyway, I'm just going to shift these up to the different next size and put them out for filling into the, they're ready to go into the next size. So there's what we've got here today. I want to thank you for joining me on this video, and hope you enjoyed just seeing a few of the conifers that I have available right now. And we're going to have some more videos coming up with the selections that I have and what I've been doing as far as shifting up and cleaning up the conifers. So until next time, we'll see you soon.